Hello, and thank you for clicking on this video. So, today I am going to speak about different things, whatever that comes to my mind, or what's up, babe? My cat is just lying down next to me, and she's just been sneezing so much. Do you think cats can get cold? I mean, it's been very cold lately, so I don't know. She seems fine, but sometimes she goes like, all right. Should I keep this on my hand like this or just like, should I go like that? That is better because it gives me more freedom on my hands. All right. What do we want to speak about today? I'm not really sure. I don't normally just like prepare myself to speak about what subject this video is going to be about. I just love it to be all freelance, just sit in front of the camera and speak whatever that comes to my mind or what I've been experiencing. Um, I've been lately thinking so much about some ideas or some perspectives, philosophical perspective, I would call them, or scientific perspectives, which they are all about life. And some of them is just so heavy for myself to even understand that where I get these ideas or realizations that I'm thinking if I tell it to someone, they think that I might be crazy. But I love philosophy and I love reading about what people have to say about their experiences or literally the whole meaning of consciousness and reality or understanding what the fuck is going on. Like, why are we all here and what is the purpose of life? Like, at the first place, why are we the way that ugh, why are we the way we are, or why are we experiencing the life that we have right now? Who knows the answers to all of these questions? And the funny thing is, when you think about these type of questions, you only would end up with more questions just the same way. But there is not any answers. Like, I've been even putting myself out there to speak to gurus or even religious guidance that, for example, Buddhism, which I know that they are so focused on the whole like realm of reality in a higher space. Like, I know that I don't really want to speak about it because my knowledge is not very in depth and I'm not a Buddhist. But I know that they focus on the realm of the consciousness in a deeper levels. I even once went to a couple of gatherings that they were having to speak or like to read some mantras just to know that if I can get some certain answers. But honestly, none of them lead me to any type of obvious answers. Like, I went there with these questions and I came out without any answers. Yeah, well, I don't really know. I'm thinking, like, a couple of days ago, I don't even know how to say this. A couple of days ago, right? I had a day off and I was sitting outside in the garden and looking around me, and all of a sudden, a thought just popped into my mind, which that was, what if I am the only one in this called reality, that I am creating everything and everything is just the illusion of my own mind. Like, what if there is nobody out there but just my own consciousness, and I'm experiencing my own consciousness in other people as well? Like, I don't even know if that doesn't make any sense to you, but I'm just thinking, what if there is nobody or nothing out there, but all of it is just my own dream or my own mind that is projecting a reality of such a life that I'm experiencing now? Yeah. Let that sink in for a second. Like, my mind just dropped that like a bombshell on me and then went on silent and be like, yes, now it's your turn to just sit down and think about what I told you. Dude, there is nobody on this planet that can make me understand why do I have to think this certain way. It's very like, I'm not really sad or I'm not nagging about it. I just want to make an understanding of what is really going on. Like, who said that in life we have to just live certain way? I mean, to some points I do understand, like societies or the culture that we are living in, it give us a firm frame that you have to work in this certain legalizations, or you have to live in this type of way. Like, there are some rules or some things to follow and respect to be able to be part of like a society. But in some other ways, like, who really said that we have to be born at the same place? That, what is going on? I don't know. And the funny thing, the most funny thing that I realize again is, anybody who has some scientific experiences or they have some knowledge about science, like for example, Albert Einstein, he is one of the most well-known physicists, that he has so many saying out there and so many experiments about what is reality and how things work in a physical aspect. But to some point, he was never 100% sure about all of the things that he experienced or all of the things that he said it is what it is. Like, all of the scientists out there, they just say their mind to the public as an idea. Nobody just comes out and say, I believe 100% that this subject, it is what it is, and you have to believe that. Like, everyone have their own beliefs or their own understanding of some subjects that they spend their time reading about it or they doing research about it. But everyone out there, all the even like paid scientists or people that they spend a lifetime on studying a subject, they all are experiencing that subject in their own way. At the end of the day, with understanding this, at the end of the day, we are left with the understanding that nobody knows, in the core base, nobody knows what is really going on. Like, nobody knows for fact why us humans are the way that we are. Like, why our anatomy was just built in this way, or nobody really knows that what our DNAs just came from. Nobody knows. After decades of research and study, there is not any fact that we can just stick to and say, okay, that for sure is the way it is, and we now are sure about it. Just thinking about this. it blows your mind that what are we doing and why are the way that we are? We do not choose to be born in where. We do not choose our own names. We do not choose our own parents. We don't choose to even where to go to school or what friends to have in life. Most of the things are decided for us until later ages in life, that we can change some of them or we cannot change some of the things that they have. It has been decided for us. Saying that, and also another thing that I've been thinking so much is that the power of making a decision. Like, to some aspects, we know that we're making a decision and that decision is not made up for us. Sometimes I just think that we have this illusion that we are making an aware decision, but then when you think about it more, you realize there could be so many other options when you wanted to make decisions, but you were not exposed to it. So your decision making and your options were also again limited to some options that you had in front of you that you thought, okay, I can now make a decision based on these objects or like subjects. That by the end of the day, you think, I'm again are not exposed to everything that is possible to make a clear and aware decision. Or like another way to look at this is that are we really are making a decision all based from ourselves? Like when I look at buying a shoe, for example, do I really want that or something else in me wanting me to get that? Like, does it make sense? Like, this one is even way more difficult to understand it. But what I'm trying to say is that are we the one in whole power to make a decision for ourselves, or there are some other forces in us that makes us to make that decisions? Like, why did I decide to just sit on this chair and today make this video? It wasn't me, it was some other force that it made me feel like, okay, now I feel like making video, and let's just do this setup, let's just talk about these things. I don't know, like it's hard to even sometimes speak about these things. It's hard to making it come through as words, because what you feel or what you are experiencing is not, most of the time it's not possible to bring it into words and communicate with other people, because the way that you think are translating in a different way for another person's mind. And that's another thing that I've been thinking lately about. Communications or language in general, it's all an illusion again. We are thinking that we are communicating with other people in our lives only because we can speak certain words, or we can just like make some sounds from our throats to communicate with other human beings. But in fact, it's an illusion. Like when you think about it this way, you'll be like, what? It all makes sense now. Imagine, like, sometimes when you travel to other countries that you do not speak the language, you can still communicate with the person with using hand gestures or using Google Translate. It is not like all like saying the words out loud, but you are making certain ways of connections with another person. And who really said that we have to call certain things a certain words? Like, who said that from the beginning? A chair should be called a chair. Why a chair? That only is for English, but I'm just speaking in general in any languages. Like, why do we have to call objects or certain feelings? Why do we have to name things? Do other animals they have that sense of awareness of naming things, or is it just us humans? Who really thinks about these things? Let me know, because I don't want to just think that I'm the weirdest person on this planet, that I'm always thinking about all these philosophical questions. And I think a lot, that sometimes I need to just stop my mind from racing and figuring out things. Like it's a lot going on in my mind sometimes, that it is like being a researcher all the time. And I do not know that what is going on up here that makes me just think about all of these deep questioning of the universe. Another thing is, I'm thinking, what if people that they've researched about all what it matters in the world, they have all the answers, but they don't want to expose every knowledge or every information to public, because they might think that some people they don't have capacity of understanding what really is going on, so they just hold everything as a secret weapons, or like, you know what I mean? Like, what if there is all the answers out there, but they don't want to share it to public because they know that this might cause chaos, and this might just like make people go crazy and like panic. Because I do believe that every one of us, we have and we are in different levels of consciousness and different levels of understanding about what's going on, that maybe some of the things that I say is not really resonating with you, or you have not came to a realization this deep as me, or maybe some of you are even way more deeper in understanding the reality. But what I'm saying is that we are all in different levels, and we are all are different when it comes to having a certain way of thinking and our belief system. But in general, I think all of us are beautiful in our own ways, and it's just pure experience of life in our own very unique ways. What I feel and what I would say about living is completely different and unique to somebody else who is watching this video and living in another parts of the world, or even living in the same country. But our beliefs and our understanding about life is completely different. And just like our fingerprints, we are all going through a different experience of life. And thinking about this by itself, it just makes me think how many of realities and how many of life experiences are out there, or how many of worlds they are out there that we do not even came across to touch it, or we do not came across to understand somebody else's world, because that's all just happening in their own mind. And we might get a glimpse of it by making ourselves understand it a little bit by like communicating, but To experience somebody else's life, it's all impossible, I would say. What creates our world is our belief system, our emotions, our family or life experiences. And so everybody has gone through a different life until this very moment that I I would not really think nobody can completely experience someone else's life. Yeah. That is also very beautiful, by the way, to think about it. That we are all super unique and there is only one of us in this planet. Like nobody else would resonate completely 100% like to me or to you. We are all are just very unique and we are all having a very unique experience in life. Yeah. Another matter which is very important, and I've been thinking about it in very different parts of questioning or understanding it, is our brain. That's how does a human being brain realistically works? Like when you think about the structure of it, first of all, scientists hasn't really came across with one united answer that okay, the brain is working 100% this way, just like any other experiences in life, experiments in life. There is not very like 100% answers out there from the studies. But we know to some very surface level of how our brains are working that it's all in divided in different sections like our front cortex. No, I don't want to make fun of myself by pronouncing it, but our I don't know. It's not helping me. Front cortisol parts of brain, I think. I guess, but I just like write it here because I have to do research and make sure that I pronounce the word correctly. English is my second language, okay? Yeah, so we know that it's all parted in different ways, and each part has its own different, like, how would I say this? Responsibility to make our brain just work in a whole unique, again, unique and very specific way that all of these all of these works are being done by electromagnetic or electrons in our brain, like neurons that are in our nervous system. They are all electronic, like hormones that they transfer a message from one to another by electrons. In a way, I really think that we might be sometimes machines, like a very sensitive, hyper emotional machines. But it's funny to say that because then spirituality comes in and would make you think that then what do you think about spirit? That it's, or like, what do you think about the soul? A machine cannot have a soul, which that's true because there is nothing to deny it or accept it 100%. That's what we really are 100%. Like we are a combination of different things. Human beings are very complex in general. Like we are very complex, but very fascinating and unique. I hope that all of these things that I said, it kind of makes sense to you, that I don't feel weird. I do have a lot of these things that I would share it in this channel. So if you are wanting to follow up, or if you are with the same mindset, feel free to follow me and let's get in touch, because I really want to be connected to people that they think like me and they have the same vision of trying to understand what's really going on, and their mind is always going on circles and thinking to wanting to figure everything out. So follow me or comment what you think. I really want to continue these chats. Bye.